Bicycle kick. It's the sport's ultimate showstopper, a mid-air backflip that turns a desperate attempt into one of the most spectacular goals possible. To pull it off, players throw themselves backward, kick their leading leg up to launch, arch their back, and strike the ball clean before crashing to the ground. Timing is everything. Get it wrong and you're flat on the turf. Get it right and you've created a moment that lives forever. Few goals in football history capture the magic like Zlatan Ibrahimovic's strike against England in 2012. From nearly 40 yards out, he leapt into the night sky and whipped his foot overhead, sending the ball looping over Joe Hart into the net. Cristiano Ronaldo's bicycle kick against Juventus in 2018 drew standing ovations from rival fans, the kind of goal that transcends team loyalty. Wayne Rooney's overhead in the Manchester derby is another etched into Premier League folklore. The beauty of the bicycle kick is its unpredictability. Defenders rarely expect it, goalkeepers can't position for it, and fans erupt when it lands. It's high risk, high drama, and pure theatre. Every kid dreams of hitting one, and every professional knows that scoring with it means you've written yourself into football legend. Knuckleball. This one is football's version of a ghost. Hit clean with almost zero spin, the ball starts wobbling through the air like it has a mind of its own. One moment it's heading for the top corner, the next it dips and swerves in the opposite direction. Goalkeepers hate it because no amount of training prepares you for a ball that moves unpredictably after it's already left the boot. The technique demands absolute precision. Strike the dead center of the ball with the laces, lock the ankle, and follow through straight. Rotate your foot even slightly, and the spin kills the effect. When it's executed perfectly, the airflow around the ball destabilizes it, causing the infamous float that leaves keepers rooted. Juninho Pernambucano turned this into a career highlight reel, scoring over 70 free kicks with knuckleball strikes that made him nearly unplayable from set pieces. Cristiano Ronaldo then brought it to global superstardom in 2008 with his thunderous free kick against Portsmouth. The ball dipped and swerved so violently, the keeper didn't even dive. Volley. The shot is one of the most breathtaking sights in football, a ball struck cleanly out of the air before it ever touches the ground. It's the perfect combination of timing, balance, and pure technique. Players adjust their bodies in a split second, lock their eyes on the ball, and swing through with the laces. Too high and it sails into the stands, too low and it's scuffed into the dirt. Get it right and it's football perfection. Marco van Basten delivered one of the greatest volleys ever in the Euro 1988 final. From an impossible angle, he lashed a right foot strike over the Soviet keeper and into the far corner, a goal that defined a generation. Zinedine Zidane matched that brilliance in the 2002 Champions League final, catching Roberto Carlos's looping cross with his weaker foot and drilling it into the top corner. Those two moments are still studied as the standard for the art of the volley. What makes the volley so captivating is the mix of chaos and control. The ball is spinning, dropping, moving at speed, yet a perfect connection turns it into a rocket toward goal. When fans see a volley fly into the net, they don't just celebrate the strike, they celebrate the audacity of even attempting it. Curveball. Few sights in football are more jaw-dropping than a perfectly struck curveball. With the right spin, the ball whips around defenders and bends away from goalkeepers, making it look like it's on rails. The magic happens in the contact. Hit the ball with the inside of the foot, slightly off center, and sweep the leg around so the ball spins through the air. That spin changes the airflow, carving the ball through space in an arc that defies straight line logic. Roberto Carlos gave the world the most famous example in 1997 against France. From almost 35 meters out, he swung his left foot around the ball, sending it spinning wide, so wide that fans thought it was heading out for a throw-in. At the last second, the ball bent back inside the post, leaving goalkeeper Fabien Barthez frozen. That strike became a physics problem that scientists later studied to explain how it was possible. The curveball isn't limited to free kicks. David Beckham made it his trademark, whipping in crosses that defenders couldn't reach and keepers couldn't judge. From bending around the wall to curling into the top corner, this shot is both an art form and a weapon. When executed with precision, it leaves the entire stadium stunned. Power shot. When a power shot connects, it's less about football and more about raw violence. The ball rockets off the boot with such force that goalkeepers sometimes don't even try to dive, they just brace for impact. The secret lies in technique. Plant the foot beside the ball, lock the ankle, swing through with the laces, and let the hips drive the motion. Done right, it can turn a leather sphere into a cannonball. Few players embodied this strike like Steven Gerrard. From Liverpool to England, he unleashed long-range thunderbolts that seemed to rattle stadiums. Adriano, the Brazilian forward, was another name feared for the sheer force behind his left foot. Hulk carried the tradition forward, launching shots so heavy that keepers often punched the ball away rather than risk catching it. And then there's Zlatan Ibrahimović, who combined strength with precision, blasting screamers that felt like highlight reels waiting to happen. The power shot doesn't just score goals, it changes momentum. A single rocket from 30 yards out can silence a home crowd or ignite a comeback. Scorpion kick. The scorpion kick is pure improvisation, a forward dive where the player flicks their heels up behind them, striking the ball mid-air like a tail snapping forward. Unlike the bicycle kick, which launches backward in a somersault motion, the scorpion is done leaning forward, legs whipping upward to make contact with the back of the foot. It's rare, unpredictable, and when it lands, it instantly becomes highlight reel gold. René Higuita made the scorpion famous in 1995 during a friendly against England at Wembley. The Colombian keeper dived forward, flicked his legs up, and cleared a looping shot with his heels as if he'd trained for a circus act. Years later, Olivier Giroud turned it into one of the greatest goals ever scored. In 2017 against Crystal Palace, Alexis Sanchez's cross drifted behind him, but Giroud launched forward, flicked his heel mid-air, and sent the ball flying into the top corner. That strike won the FIFA Puskás Award and cemented the scorpion kick as a move for football's wild dreamers. The beauty of the scorpion is in its audacity. Nobody expects it and defenders can't prepare for it. The ball is often in an awkward position, impossible to reach with a normal strike. That's when the scorpion appears, risky, spectacular, and unforgettable. Chip shot. Few finishes sting a goalkeeper more than the chip shot. With one delicate lift of the ball, the attacker sends it floating gracefully over the keeper's reach and into the net. The move relies on timing and disguise. Approach like you're going to blast the ball, then scoop under it with the toes slightly up. The strike is soft, but the precision makes it deadly. Lionel Messi introduced himself to the world with a chip in 2005, scoring his first goal for Barcelona against Albacete after being set up by Ronaldinho. The ball hung in the air just long enough for the crowd to gasp before it dropped under the bar. Francesco Totti also made the lob his trademark, scoring countless goals by toying with keepers who rushed out to close him down. Even in the World Cup, James Rodriguez used a chip in 2014 to score one of the tournament's most unforgettable goals for Colombia. Trivela. Instead of the classic inside foot bend, the Trivela whips the ball away from its expected path, creating angles that look impossible. The trick lies in wrapping the outside of the boot around the ball while keeping the body balanced, sending it swerving wide before curling back into danger. No player is more synonymous with this shot than Ricardo Quaresma. Throughout his career, he carved defenses apart with outside foot screamers and crosses that twisted unpredictably. Luka Modric has also turned the Trivela into a signature, especially in passing. His outside foot assists for Real Madrid and Croatia became viral highlights that left fans and pundits shaking their heads. The advantage of the Trivela is deception. Defenders set themselves to block a traditional strike only for the ball to veer in the opposite direction. For goalkeepers, it's a nightmare. The spin is unnatural, the curve late and sharp. Heel kick. This one is football's ultimate ambush. With the players back to goal and defenders crowding every angle, the ball suddenly flicks off the heel and into the net before anyone realizes what just happened. It doesn't need a big wind-up, and it doesn't give defenders a warning. One small movement and the ball changes direction like a trick shot nobody saw coming. The move has produced some of the sport's most memorable highlights. Zlatan Ibrahimović turned it into a weapon, catching keepers off guard with heel strikes that looked like they belonged in martial arts. Olivier Giroud took it a step further in 2017 with his outrageous scorpion kick against Crystal Palace, where the ball looped over the keeper and into the net off his heel, a goal that went on to win the FIFA Puskás Award. Even legends like Roberto Mancini and Cristiano Ronaldo have used the heel to score in tight spaces, proving it's far more than just a flashy trick. What makes the heel kick so devastating is the deception. The player's body language says they're shielding or setting up for a pass, but a subtle flick delivers the killer blow. It's sneaky, it's stylish, and it turns a moment of pressure into an instant highlight reel. Header. In football, the header is the moment when gravity loses. It's the art of timing a leap, meeting the ball in mid-air, and sending it crashing past a helpless goalkeeper. Done with precision, the forehead, right at the hairline, delivers a strike as powerful as any shot from the boot. Add neck muscles into the whip and the ball rockets downward, bouncing up off the grass to make it nearly impossible to stop. Few players have made aerial dominance their trademark like Cristiano Ronaldo. Against Sampdoria in 2019, he soared nearly 2.6 meters into the air, hanging longer than seemed human before powering the ball into the net. Sergio Ramos built his reputation on decisive headers, including the 2014 Champions League final when his stoppage time equalizer set Real Madrid on course for La Decima. Classic poachers like Alan Shearer and Miroslav Klose also carved out goal-scoring records by mastering the art of meeting crosses with devastating accuracy. Headers, by the way, are about positioning, timing, and fearlessness. Players put their bodies on the line, colliding with defenders, sometimes even with the goalkeeper's fists, just to get that split-second contact. When it connects, the sound of leather-smacking skull echoes around the stadium, and fans know it's a moment of pure authority in the air. Placement shot. Call it the assassin's blade of football. No thunder, no chaos. Just a perfectly guided strike that slides past the keeper with surgical precision. The technique relies on the inside of the foot, body leaning over the ball, and the eyes locked on the exact patch of grass where the ball needs to pass. Power is secondary, accuracy is everything. Thierry Henry built an entire highlight reel on this. Running down the left wing for Arsenal, he would open up his body and bend the ball calmly into the far corner. Defenders knew what was coming, yet stopping it was almost impossible. Lionel Messi mastered the same approach, rolling shots into corners with an ease that made keepers look helpless. The beauty of this technique lies in its reliability. Strikers trust it when they need to secure a goal rather than gamble on raw force. Statistically, placement finishes convert more consistently than almost any other technique, especially in one-on-one situations. It's the kind of shot that doesn't shake stadium walls but still decides titles, finals, and legacies. Rabona. The Rabona is football's ultimate show of swagger. It's when a player wraps their stronger foot around the back of their standing leg to strike the ball, turning a tricky situation into a jaw-dropping highlight. The move demands balance, hip rotation, and perfect timing. Pull it off and the stadium erupts. Miss it and you look like you're auditioning for a blooper reel. The origin of the name comes from Argentina in the 1940s when Ricardo Infante scored with the move and the magazine described it as skipping school, a Rabona. Since then, it's grown into one of football's flashiest skills. Angel Di Maria built a reputation for his Rabona crosses at Benfica and Real Madrid, bending the ball across goal in ways defenders couldn't prepare for. Eric Lamela then immortalized it with his outrageous Rabona goal against Arsenal in 2014, struck cleanly into the bottom corner in a North London derby. That strike won the FIFA Puskás Award years later. The Rabona isn't just flair for the cameras, it's also a functional tool when a player is stuck on their weaker side. Instead of switching feet, the Rabona lets them deliver power and accuracy while dazzling the crowd. It's risk, it's style, and when executed in a big match, it becomes one of the purest expressions of creativity the sport has ever seen. Toe poke. This one looks like something you'd see on a schoolyard pitch. Awkward, scrappy, and the kind of shot coaches usually tell you to avoid. But in reality, it's one of football's deadliest surprise weapons. With no backlift at all, defenders can't read it, and goalkeepers are given fractions of a second to react. The ball is struck with the very tip of the boot, ankle locked, driving straight through the middle of the ball. Done right, it's faster than a classic instep strike and nearly impossible to predict. One of the most famous uses came in the 2002 World Cup when Ronaldo Nazário toe-poked against Turkey in the semi-finals. The Turkish keeper dove the wrong way, completely thrown off by the speed and disguise of the strike. That goal sent Brazil to the final, where Ronaldo added 2 more to secure their 5th World Cup. The toe poke also shows up in futsal, where the smaller ball and tighter spaces make it a go-to move. Ronaldinho even used it in professional football, sliding one past Chelsea in the Champions League. What looks like a desperate jab is actually a masterstroke when pulled off by the best. It's not flashy, it's not elegant, but when the keeper's picking the ball out of the net, none of that matters. Ground roller. It doesn't get the headlines of a bicycle kick or a thunderbolt, but it's one of the most efficient shots in football. It's a strike driven firmly along the grass, skimming low and hard into the corners where goalkeepers hate to stretch. The technique is simple. Keep the body leaning over the ball, strike through with the laces or inside of the foot, and angle it just enough so it sneaks past outstretched gloves. The ball travels fast, stays unpredictable on bumpy or wet pitches, and leaves the keeper diving in desperation. Frank Lampard built his career on goals like this, timing late runs into the box and drilling low shots past helpless defenders. Cristiano Ronaldo also mastered the art of firing skimming drives into the bottom corner, especially in Champions League nights when every finish mattered. Didier Drogba turned it into a weapon in pressure games, using placement and power to send low shots beyond the reach of keepers who expected something high and spectacular. What makes the ground roller so effective is its subtlety. Fans might not leap out of their seats the way they do for a 30-yard screamer, but strikers know it's one of the most reliable ways to score. No theatrics, no tricks, just a clean strike that punishes defenders and keeps goalkeepers second-guessing until the ball hits the back of the net. Long-range dippers. It's a shot that looks destined for the stands, only to nosedive at the last second and smash into the net. It's all about striking through the ball with power while adding just enough topspin to make it drop sharply. From distance, the ball soars like a missile, then suddenly dips under the bar, leaving goalkeepers stranded mid-air. Frank Lampard was one of the greats at this. His specialty was catching bouncing balls outside the box, sending them rocketing toward goal before they dropped viciously past the keeper. Ronald Koeman, Barcelona's free kick machine of the 90s, also mastered the dipper, hitting low-flying rockets that curled down just in time to rattle the net. Modern stars like Cristiano Ronaldo and Gareth Bale have added their own versions, blasting shots from 30 meters out that start high, then slam down with brutal precision. The dipper thrives on timing. Catch the ball too low and it sails harmlessly over. Hit it too flat and it's easy for the keeper. But when it's perfect, the trajectory tricks everyone watching, fans, defenders, and especially the goalkeeper. From the stands, it looks impossible until it slams the back of the net. And that's it. If you enjoyed watching this video, you'll surely enjoy this one.